All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
Shane.
I am Scott. We're going to see me talk about my thoughts on this player.
Yeah, so we're going with Ceedee Lamb tonight. Yeah, I don't know. Is that we're recording this after that disastrous ending to the Cowgirls game. And I think
Cowboys
he
suck.
ended the Cowboys do suck. Washington football team, baby. I think he ended the season with like 80 targets, or I'm sorry, 80 receptions, 120 targets, like 1,100 yards, and 6 TDs, somewhere around there. But what do you guys think about CD? He's got you and I had talked before. He's got like this cult following, but where is he at value wise? Where do you see him going?
So here's the problem. And I love Ceedee Lamb. And I was one of those guys that was part of the cult. We look at Ceedee Lamb and we go, well, this is a wide receiver one. This is what a wide receiver one looks like when he has the ball in his hands. We go, that's what a wide receiver one does. Unfortunately, and look, I don't want to say he hasn't yet because it's only been 2 years. He hasn't been a wide receiver one yet. If you were hoping for a step forward, you didn't get it. He didn't have to play with Michael Gallup for most of the year, and that didn't seem to matter. I just took a look at his career splits with and without Gallup, and he's played 7 games without Gallup and has a 21.9 target share versus a 19% target share when Gallup is in there, which isn't an especially big jump. So one of the things that, people are going to point to this year is in the offseason is Gallup's going to leave. So CD's going to get all these targets. It's probably not going to matter. CD gets the same amount of targets basically with Gallup in or out there. You need Amari Cooper to go away. And quite frankly, CD hasn't done enough to push Amari Cooper out of the way if I'm the Cowboys from a real football perspective. So there's no way I'd be moving on from Amari. So he's a guy that I still like. I will trade for, but I'm still mostly trading on name, cachet, and the hopes and dreams of what we thought he was going to be when he first came in the league. We thought he was Justin Jefferson, if we're being blunt. We thought he was Jamar Chase. That's what we needed him to do in either his rookie or second year, and he hasn't done it.
Yeah, I'll rattle off some more numbers. So 19% market share this year. That's just the games that he played. He played every game except for one. He ranked overall, he was 20th in the league in receptions, 21st in the league in points per game, and 22nd in the league in targets. So that's a lot of low end wide receiver 2 references to where he stands. Yet the outlier is 3, which is where he ranked in the latest ADP in wide receiver 3. Now, I think now you're going to have to adjust to his market. Like Clay said, we're recording this after Dallas got knocked out of the playoffs. Ceedee Lamb did not have a great game, had a couple big plays nullified by penalties. But people are going to look back and say, he was, and this is what he's looked like a lot this year. He's just another weapon. He is not the weapon. We've seen games where every other receiver, this was my observation, we've seen games where it's, you watch a Bengals game and it's like Chase,
Yeah.
maybe somebody else, Chase. Same thing when you watch a Packers game. It's been that way for years. I know Adams is 30, but that's kind of the type of usage. You don't need 180 targets. But you go to a Cowboys game and you're like, well, they may just spread the ball around. Then you look at all these other guys and you watch a Chiefs game, it's like Tyreek, Kelsey, Kelsey. There is no spreading it around if you're going to be the wide receiver 3. The wide receiver 3 is you're getting 10, 11 targets a game, and the other guys fight for the remaining volume. If the team throws it 28 times, you still get your 10. You still get your 9 a game. You don't have games where you get 4, 5, and there's 5 other players on your team that are getting as many targets. That's the issue with Ceedee Lamb, and I think we've given him a pass on that since he came into the league. He came into such a good offense that already had Cooper, that already had Gallup, that already had Zeke. Then they add Schultz, Pollard. You're just like, well, they spread the ball around too much. When in reality, if he was as good as we're saying he is, wide receiver 3 in Dynasty, wide receiver 4 in Dynasty, he would have pushed most of those guys out of the way. He'd be the guy that the offense is running 25% of the touches through. Then everybody else fights for the rest. He's not there. I think he's very comparable to where DJ Moore was through 2 years, where you just think there's more. The problem is we made the mistake with DJ Moore. What did he get up to, Shane? Wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 in Dynasty. And he's a great player, but he's just like a wide receiver 12. He's a low end wide receiver 1. That's why I think both want to sell Ceedee Lamb, because If people see him as an alpha, he's not.
No, when Gallup's been gone these last 7 games, it's not like CD is just gone completely crazy, and the offense hasn't changed. The only difference is instead of Gallup getting targets, it's Cedric Wilson. Cooper and Ceedee Lamb didn't absorb those targets because they do like to spread the offense out, and that's the quarterback, Dak Prescott. That's something that's ingrained in him, obviously, because that's what he does, and that's not something that usually just changes overnight. So I don't see CD making a jump to 150 targets next year, or 160 or 170.
I'll just add this. I don't want to, sorry to cut you off, Clay, but
They're good.
We make that argument for a guy like Lamb. It's like, well, they just spread the ball out. No, he doesn't command those targets. He just doesn't. So it's his fault. He's not good enough. I mean, that's basically what we're saying. We're not saying he's bad, but he's not good enough to say, okay, this guy's out. I can just do whatever I want and still command those targets. He's a piece. He's not a centerpiece.
So it all comes down to the market, right? So like, what are we paying? What are we selling them for? So how about this one? Ceedee Lamb or Deontay Johnson and the 108?
Deontay Johnson in the 108.
Yeah, I mean,
Scott hates Deontay Johnson.
No, listen, I don't hate Deontay Johnson. I think that deal stems on how confident I am to be able to do something I want with that 108. But yeah, that's a great process deal because I don't think you are giving away any production. So
here's the thing. CD should be doing what Deontay Johnson does. He should be commanding that type of target share. And then, I'd be all over CD.
Yep.
So CD or the 102?
Super flex, I'm taking the 102.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day with T. Higgins. I think his same thing kind of applies with CD. I'll take the receiver because I'm probably going to be wanting to heavily consider taking a receiver at the 102. And
would you rather have Ceedee Lamb or let's say the 108 and the 111?
Lamb, unless I have a deal in the chamber where I can get a 2023 first for the 108, or the 111.
Yeah, I'll hold there. But you know what I will do? T. Higgins in the 111 for Ceedee Lamb.
You did do that.
Oh, wait, I did do that. That's right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nicely done. I think you were the one who was like, you're not getting a first on top of T. Higgins for Ceedee Lamb.
Yeah, well, let's just say, look, I'm in a few leagues, in case our audience doesn't know, and it took a few different offers to get that done.
Yeah, you put them on your Christmas card list afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Right. Let's see what else here. Ceedee Lamb or Najee Harris?
Najee is probably going to get me more, and I don't like Najee. I'm a clown for not liking him, but I'm going to go with I have to take Najee.
Yeah, man. Najee will go higher in a startup draft. I think the problem would be we see those startup rankings or startup values with the running backs, but then when you get to the open market, it's like pulling teeth to find somebody that's willing to do the quote unquote like pivot down from Najee.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, Najee for a 23 first and Austin Eckler, like that sounds great in theory. People will say, oh, you should be able to get that all day. Then you get to your league and it's like, no one wants to pay up for a running back. So that's tough. You're stuck with Najee if you do that deal potentially, because then like you can't get off of him for what you want. At the same time, if I had no running backs on my team, I would be tempted to go just do a 1-for-1. There'd be roster construction.
If you're trying to acquire CD, what is going to be your strategy to do so? Because the owner likely is a huge CD believer and they're going to be stubborn. So what do you think you could come to the table with to get CD off their hands?
Well, so we've been doing this in our various chats, Dynasty and Chill patron chat and the Dynasty Trades HQ patron chat, where we've been moving CD, and it's been for like T. Higgins and a first. Right. So if you still believe in CD and you think we're bonkers and that we're just crazy and that CD is going to take a year 3 leap and get a 29% target share and be the man that you thought he was going to be, then you could trade T. Higgins in a first for him. And I wouldn't be mad at you for that, because that's it's a process pick on our side, or process trade on our side, because we're saying, well, we don't think T. Higgins is that much different than Ceedee Lamb, and I get the first. But if you're just that convicted, as Mr. Connor likes to say, in Ceedee Lamb, then go the other way and do it. Now, I'd probably try to start with a lower tier than T. Higgins, lower than Devonta Smith, I'd probably try like Brandon Ayuk in a first.
Yeah, like Pittman, like that kind of range, Claypool.